viewers, welcome to B Strength TV show. I'm Enyonam. Follow this program on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is B Strength TV show. You can equally share your thoughts and view on each of the discussions that we hold each and every other Saturday on B Strength TV show platform. This program is proudly sponsored by Vanguard Assurance, the third-time CIMG Hall of Fame award-winning insurance company. We have tailor-made insurance products waiting for your arrival. Just call the number displayed on your screen for more information. NEIP, National Entrepreneurship Innovations Plan, is also calling on all business owners, all startups, that a second window for entrepreneurs to get some funds to expand their business, which is the Presidential Business Support Program, has been duly launched. So if you are out there thinking of where to get some money, where to get some startup fund to expand your business, visit their website www.neip.gov.gh or call the number displayed on your screen for more information. Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited is also inviting all company owners, all business owners, startup, big or small, that the exhibition, the 23rd Ghana International Trade Fair, is happening 28th of February all the way to 11th March. Come and exhibit your products. Come and meet your next business partners. Of course, if you are organizing a musical concert, children's fanfare, wedding, AGMs, they have facilities at the trade fair and a secure place to park your car. So call the number displayed on your screen and come and hold your programs. And of course, don't forget to attend the 23rd Ghana Trade Fair. Leave tomato paste. I always encourage my ladies that when you go to the market and you want to buy tin tomato paste to prepare your gravy, jollof, and all the soups in the house, go for Leap. Call the marketing manager on the number also displayed on your screen. J&G Insurance Brokers. Yes, we are encouraging everybody that you have to take an insurance to protect you in terms of risk. There's a third party to help you of that pain that you'll be going through at that moment. But of course, call us. We are the brokerage expert. Call us and let's come and analyze what policy is good for you, so we can go and negotiate for the best claim ever you would get on the market. Call Dr. Gideon Amenyedo. The number is also displayed on the screen. And our new sponsor, NPRA, yes, National Pensions Regulatory Authority. It's about contributing so that your future, when you're retired, you get secured income to take care of yourself. You wouldn't hustle up and down. So of course, remember, if you haven't registered with any trustee yet, look for one. Go and register, and then they will get you sorted. This week, we are dissecting, we are discussing from our perspective as business people, as entrepreneurs, what our expectations were, or what we make of SONA, that is the State of Nations Address that was read last week Thursday in Parliament by the President of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So let me share this with you. He says, I am bent on running a responsible administration, mindful of the next generation and not merely the next election. That is excellent, Nana Addo. Thank you so much for sharing that. I loved it. So of course, I said myself, I would share this on my program today. I'm Enyonam, and today the discussion is going to be held with Mr. Richmond Kwame Frimpong. He is an economist, a financial expert, an investment consultant. He's all around. He knows everything when it comes to economy and how to help your business grow. So of course, I think he's the best person to help us discuss and dissect the State of Nations Address. Let's take a quick look at his profile. When I come back, the main conversation begins. We'll be right back. Stay and stay.
Richmond Kwame Frimpong is a financial expert, a motivational speaker, an author, and a social media personality. By all accounts, Richmond Kwame Frimpong is a successful financial professional. He is an investment and pensions analyst with over a decade's experience in the capital market with a rare blend of business development. He also lectures at the African Institute of Technology and Entrepreneurship, which has its headquarters in South Africa.
So welcome back from taking a quick look at the profile of my personality. Mr. Richmond, thank you so much.
Thank you
for joining me.
Good to hear.
It's been ages. I've been chasing you since last year, and you've been busy from one platform to the other to the other. How is it going?
Great, by God's grace.
Right.
Yeah.
You're doing so well.
Thank you.
For the startup community and the students and every other person you're helping out there. Thank you. We are grateful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Right. So thank you for making time to help us from to understand at a layman's point of view what the State of Nations address is all about. It's a whole bulky document, but we've just put together some portion of it which is targeting the economy and focusing on the business people. So we just want to help you or help us understand it better. So I'm just going to highlight on a few of the points that were in the statement, then you explain to us to understand it proper. Let's begin with this one. Now the president said, the president also said tax exemptions are the bane of Ghana's development, where he stated that if the state agencies are unable to collect taxes, the tax exemption regime is allowed to thrive. In less than 16 years, half of Ghana's revenue base will be given away through tax exemptions. So my personal question I pick from this statement is that, is the government saying there can't be too many tax exemptions since it will hinder economic development?
Right. So basically what the president meant was that the component of tax exemptions on the revenue mobilization arm of the government is eating into their fiscal space.
Okay.
That is to say that if they make a target to mobilize a certain quantity or a certain volume of revenue, because they give some out as an exemption to boost business and to also encourage people to even now have access to pay more, they notice that the effect is not responding the way they want it. And so up to a certain time, if it goes the same way it's going, then a certain percentage of their expectation in terms of revenue mobilization will be eaten off by tax exemptions.
I see.
So that is right, but that is something that can be corrected if they improve on their revenue mobilization targets. Right. You notice that over the periods, every revenue mobilization target by the government is not met. And if you check budget after budget after budget, you notice that when they target to raise a certain amount, they don't meet that amount, but they even spend more than what they want to raise. That is what creates what we call the fiscal deficit. And so it's a serious challenge we need to fix. And I think that down into this conversation, we can probably profess a better solution to helping the government not to expose itself to the challenge the president cited in the State of the Nation address.
Excellent. Right. He said another statement is, it is the success of the economy that will guarantee an improvement in the quality of the life of our people. I believe we all now agree that the fundamentals have to be sound if the economy is to flourish. Another question I drew out of this statement is that, does it mean that previously the economy wasn't good, hence people or most people were living in absolute poverty? How does things, or how do we do things differently going forward?
Right, so let me say that our poverty levels has not significantly changed, whether before or now.
Yes.
And the point about fundamentals in terms of the macroeconomics, improving poverty margins is correct. However, you can notice that the significant economic indicators that can change the poverty margins in the economy, one of them is inflation. So you check inflation, which talks about the value of any currency. You notice that it's moved from 15.4 now to 9. So it means that any value you have on any money you make now is not eaten away by inflation, because then prices of goods increase, but they don't increase at the margin they used to increase before. So then it increases your disposable income, and that corrects your poverty margins. So that is one. Another is the cost of credit, and the cost of credit is affected by the policy rate of the central bank. The policy rate is the rate at which the central bank lends to commercial banks. So that if you want to borrow to support your business, you will notice that the price or the cost of accessing that credit will be lower if the policy rate is coming down, because the banks take credit at a certain rate and then they pass on that rate to the ordinary consumer or the ordinary business person. So if the price the central bank is charging a bank goes down, then it means the bank passes a lower cost also to the entrepreneur or the startup business person. Why? Because he picked it at a certain reduced cost. So when the president says the fundamentals and refers to the policy rate, you notice that consistently the policy rate has fallen. That is to say that it is expected that the cost of credit should also fall. But there is a disparity economically in the cost of credits and the cost of the policy rate, or what the policy rate determines. So you notice that even though the policy rate is falling at a very good margin, that same margin is not reflective of the cost of assessing credit. So even though it is true that when this fundamental is corrected, it is going to improve on access to credit and its cost, it is not entirely the case. So you see that people are still complaining about the cost of credit. So in conclusion, fundamental macroeconomics have been improved, but it doesn't automatically improve the poverty levels in an economy like the Ghanaian economy.
So viewers, there you have it. You're still watching B Strengths TV show. I'm Enyonam. Let's go for a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly to continue with the conversation.
Wait. Tomato paste better with the area, no? I don't want to leave tomato paste in Ghana. Ah!
Aha! This is what I call Ediane.
Secret nane LEAP. Leap. Someone named Leap tomato paste Ediane there. It was superb and palatable taste. Na esu obiaso. There were large and small sizes for chop bars, restaurants, and enfie.
For bulk purchase, contact 033-2095-314 or 050-141085.
Hello sir, this is Vanguard Assurance. We just got a notification of a fire outbreak at your premises. I want to assure you that the fire service has been notified and the Vanguard team has been dispatched and they'll be at your premises soon. Thank you sir.
With the Vanguard Digital Fire Insurance, you need not to worry about getting a fire report. Vanguard will facilitate the processing of the fire report and speed up your claim process. No need for you to chase any fire report or fill any form to initiate your claim.
Switch to the Vanguard Digital Fire Insurance now. It's digital, it's fast, and very convenient.
Vanguard Assurance, 6th time CIMG Hall of Fame insurer.
So welcome back from that quick commercial break. It's still B Strengths TV shows. Share your thought, your view on our social media platforms. Of course, you can also send us through the WhatsApp number displayed on the screen. Mr. Frimpong, let's quickly move into this next item in the state of news. Is that GDP growth for 2019 is forecast at 7.6%. Ghana's recent GDP growth has placed it amongst the highest in the world. The question I am asking you is that, from what the president is saying, as someone who engages entrepreneurs frequently, investors both local and international, from what you hear them say, do they have that interest, that zeal in running to our end to invest or start business? Is that what the perception is out there? I mean, is it the same as what the president is saying?
Right. So when we say GDP is growing, it's simply the size of the economy. Like the cake. So the president is right to say that it is growing. It's one of the fastest and maybe one of the biggest in terms of averages, because in 2016 we ended about 3.6. Now we are doing an average of about 7.6. That is huge. I think even in 2017 we ended at 8.1. And the projection they are making to be around 7 is quite huge. Economies like China, economies like Brazil, South Africa, the US, Nigeria and co are not growing in that same kind of margin. So in 2018, it is right that Ghana was one of the fastest in terms of what we were able to do in terms of the size of the economy. However, I would also say that the GDP growth in itself alone does not make an economy a first-class economy. So your question about is that the case even for external investors to run into the economy? There are many factors that will get the foreign direct investment coming into an economy just more than a GDP growth rate. And one of them critically is the macroeconomics that entice foreign direct investment into the economy. So you notice that even for us as an economy, foreign direct investment is increasing at a very good rate. But if you want to equate GDP growth rates to investment that come into an economy, I am saying that the size of the economy alone is not enough to say that because the GDP is growing, maybe there will be a lot of investment. Rather, the GDP growth indicates that there have been some foreign direct investment that have come into the economy that has introduced the growth.
Right. So whilst the conversation was ongoing, one of my crew members was asking you about inflation. Now listen to this. Inflation has dropped from 15.4 at the end of 2016 to 9% in January this year, the lowest in 6 years, as announced by the Ghana Statistical Service last week. He also said interest rates are declining, and so is the Bank of Ghana monetary policy rate. Our trade balance account, for the first time in more than a decade, recorded a surplus and is expected to remain in surplus. What I'm asking is that how does this figures benefit or impact in the business account of an entrepreneur like me or another entrepreneur who is out there listening to all this English?
Right, so two critical things I have to explain.
Exactly. Go ahead.
When we say policy rates again is the rate at which the central bank lends to commercial banks. So it's basically the cost of credit.
Okay.
So when there is a point made that it is coming down, indirectly it is supposed to mean that the cost of credit is equally supposed to come down.
Right.
How does that help the budding entrepreneur? It makes the budding entrepreneur get access to credit at a very cheap cost or price, so that when they are passing on the cost of production to the ordinary Ghanaian, it will not be that high. Now, when that doesn't happen, you notice that the prices of goods keep increasing at a very faster pace. That is where I introduce inflation. Inflation is the rate at which prices of goods increase over time. So inflation is not necessarily a no price change. It is not a no price increase. Sometimes people think that I bought a thing at 1 cedi.
Yes.
I went a month after, it is 2 cedis.
Okay.
So why are you saying inflation is coming down when the price is increasing? Inflation falling from 15.4 in say 2016 or whichever period, and now hitting 9, which is the lowest in 6 years, is fact. However, it doesn't mean that the fall from 15.4 to 9 means prices will not increase in terms of price of goods. It would increase, but it will increase at a decreasing rate, meaning that the thing could have increased from 1 cedi to say 2 cedis, but now it is increasing from 1 cedi to 1.2 cedis. So you still have to expect an increase in prices, just that it will increase at a decreasing rate. And that is how it affects the ordinary person or the businessman.
So when you hear inflation drop, inflation rise, that's the meaning. I see. Interesting. Okay, so we are very much aware that this is not the first time we have had such good set of figures, but we are determined to do things differently this time around. We have imposed on ourselves physical discipline. We are paying off legacy debt and deepening good governance practices, and business confidence is growing. We will maintain that discipline and bring progress to our country. My question that follows after this comment or statement is that very often our politicians make big promises when they're on huge platforms or reaching out to larger audience. How do we measure or how do we determine things are likely to be done differently, and also indeed if they are adhering to the good governance practices as we are hearing the president saying?
Right, so this is a very important question you have asked. Two critical things have happened. The point you are making is that the president is saying that we must maintain a certain discipline in terms of how the government manages its finances. And the key point here is the maintenance. If Ghana has any challenge with the economic management, it is about maintaining discipline. So two things that can help us maintain is the introduction of laws that will check us, and then the independence of bodies that will ensure that those laws are followed to the letter. Have those things been done in this instance? You notice the Fiscal Responsibility Act. So an act introduced
Yes.
to make sure that fiscal deficit is sealed or curtailed or given a ceiling. Then there is an introduction of a fiscal responsibility advisory council. So a body to ensure that the discipline we want to see in our fiscal space is adhered to.
Right.
Now, these two things are supposed to help us maintain, as the president says, but there's a little challenge. Just like you notice in our discourse on security, there are laws to safeguard people from any form of security mishap. But when the maintenance, which is done by the police or the military or the security agencies, is having a certain non-independence influence, then the people who must supervise the implementation of the act on security are unable to do so. Okay. So there may be law, there may be people to implement, but you still see prevalence of challenges. Bring them into the financial space. If it is a president that appointed or set up the council,
Right.
and we don't make the council so independent in terms of the term they live, in terms of how they do the things they do, and they have a certain level of influence from presidency, then we have gone nowhere.
Okay.
So that must be fixed, so that it is not just about the act introduced, but the independence of the body that ensures financial discipline is maintained.
Right.
Other than that, we'll go back anytime there's a mishap.
I see. So viewers, you're still watching V-Strength TV show. And the show is proudly brought to you by Vanguard Assurance, the two-time CIMG Hall of Fame award-winning insurance company, Leap to Mental Pace, Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited, NEIP, and also J&G Insurance Brokers. Viewers, I believe you are enjoying the conversation and you're learning a lot. But up next is the J&G Insurance Brokers segment. Take a quick look at that. When we come back, we'll wrap up on the conversations taken today.
And my claim is not covered by the insurance policy I arranged.
Parkwesi, I've always advised you to let J&G Insurance Brokers, the insurance professional, handle your insurance to avoid gaps. At J&G, we analyze your insurance needs, we arrange cover with the best insurer with a track record of prompt claims payment, and above all, we facilitate and negotiate your claims. Call Dr. Gideon Amenyedo, the CEO, on 0244 333335 or 0504 333335. You can also email him, Gideon, at jnginsurancebrokers.com or visit our website, jnginsurancebrokers.com.
Thank you very much, Enyenam. I'm calling doctor right away.
At J&G Insurance Brokers, negotiating a great insurance deal is our business.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Startup Guide Corner, brought to you by J&G Insurance Brokers. Business is a very, very important thing. Without entrepreneurs who dream wide about what the needs of societies are, and they work out offerings in the form of a product which they sell. Now, in doing this, they need assets, human capital, machines, computers, vehicles. These assets must come together in a working environment to be able to produce these goods. In this guide, as we are talking about, we want to talk about one special aspect of the things which is important. How readily do you replace these assets when certain events do happen? Insurance is the only risk management tool known over the years, time-tested, which helps to be able to replace your assets when events do happen. Now, taking insurance alone is not important. Insurance premium that is paid is always factored in such a way that portion is given to consultants, in this case called the broker. So bringing a broker to help you helps you in a lot of ways. First of all, they will help you identify the critical areas of your business, which assets needs to be insured, which one is not so much important that you throw money away. Secondly, they will redesign the policy in such a way that it covers the loss clearly. If it's theft of the assets, that is a theft which will clearly be spelled out. So visit our offices, check our website, or call us. And what we want to do even is that we want to run a course on investment in collaboration with B-Trend for a small group of people, and explain to us how you can invest in a money market instrument, because you're a startup, a money market instrument will be appropriate for you. But those of you who want to go to the stock exchange, we will talk to you about. And if you want to have to design a simple business plan, you can go into all those areas. Want to have a live interaction with you and be your coach, guiding you, making sure that every aspect of your business, we actually advise you. We are one financial advisors of a kind. And when you visit us, J&G Insurance, we always make sure that you are always smiling at every point of your business. Thank you very much.
And welcome back. That was it. Startup Guide Corner brought to you by J&G Insurance Brokers. I'm Enyonam, and I still have Mr. Richmond right here in my seat. Per all that you have said, it's a lot of knowledge for a businessman or an entrepreneur to be able to determine what is right and what is wrong when it comes to these assets and whoever. I mean, how serious is the input of consultant like you in the life of a businessman or an entrepreneur?
Right, so that's another very intelligent question. This is what I would say to make it simple. If you have ever seen anybody called a star in real life, nobody becomes a star on the football field without a coach. So you notice that you can pretend to learn to drive yourself, but you cannot pretend to fly an airplane yourself. You need an instructor. In the field of business, you need consultants who can become coaches who guide you with the professional aspect of managing the business. Because usually when you're an entrepreneur, you are damn open to any form of risk and you go with your heart. You don't consider the other things you have to look for. You are just caught up in your vision and your dreams. But a consultant who might have studied other businesses rise and fall would be able to tell you that this kind of system works, this one doesn't work, and is able to guide you to do the things that are principle tested so you don't make mistakes. That is why every entrepreneur, you see that they will need a board. In setting up the board, you bring people who have that leverage in terms of the experience in running what you have done, so they can tell you what to do and what not to do. And so that kind of culture is eating into our businesses, that people don't use even architects to build. They take anybody who can help them to build to save money. Same in business. And that is why we don't get businesses in Ghana and even in Africa by extension that grow beyond us. When the one man is not there, the business dies. It is because we don't value the essence of consultants.
Right, I see. Yes, so let's talk about this book. New Year, Fresh Start. Tell me about this book and what inspired you to put this piece together.
Right, so this is about the 6th book, and this is talking about the difference between 2017, 2018, and 2019, and how you make this present year you are in the best. Now, in this book, I make a certain proposition that there is practically nothing new about this year. The number of hours in the year are still the same, 24 hours. The seasons are still the same, day and night, winter, summer, rainy season, dry season. The only thing that changes in every single year is you more than anything else. So if you don't change, nothing will change about the year. And you can tell by now that we are entering almost the end of the first quarter. And if you don't take care, you will not even notice that the year is going. So if nothing changes about the way you manage your time and the things like that I espouse in the book, you'll notice that this year, despite all the titles we gave to the year in church, may even be the worst for you. If you want the year to be different as a politician, if you want the year to be different as a student, if you want the year to be different as a business person or an individual, make sure you get the book and pick out the things you must do differently.
New Year, fresh start. I wrap up by asking, how affordable are you for startups?
I mean, I'm as affordable as you want to reach me. So if you are bent on getting assistance and you can push to just reach me, I mean, a startup, I'll be glad to help. So you go to social media, find Richmond Kwame Frimpong. Let me notice you are serious. Sometimes you bring consultants and mentors to help. When they tell you to do one or two things, your face change. It's easy to get me, but when you come and I tell you that do this, don't do this, don't do that, that is a real cost. The real cost is not in the price. So if only you can find me on social media, get my books, get my materials, and practically do the things I say you should do. That is the cost of getting a consultant as far as I'm concerned.
Mr. Richmond Kwame Frimpong was my guest for today on Base Strength TV show.